Andy Wood, Director and Founder of VTC Tax. Welcome to you.
Thank you.
Andy, let's just go back to VAT for a minute, and so let's talk about this mythical man that's been either given the property or he's bought some property for future development, investment or whatever else. Let's assume that he's bought this property. Over time he might want to develop it. He might then decide to keep it as an investment. So actually the classification would change somewhat. What I'm keen to know is, would it be sensible for him to register for VAT, because that way he could claim back the ongoing expenses leading up to whatever situation he created? And further, would it though complicate matters if he develops a residential property? Would it cause him to then charge VAT on a residential rent?
Okay, so in terms of somebody who has developed some residential property, now that's a zero rated supply. So where they develop the properties and they're going to sell an interest in that land to a third party. So somebody wants to buy a flat, for instance. That's quite a good position for the developer, because, as you say, the costs, the VAT costs that he's incurring, he will be able to recover those, but there is no requirement on his taxable supply, i.e. Selling the property to the third party. He does not have to charge VAT there. The scenario that can trip up commercial property investors, because the default position for somebody who's invested in commercial properties, again, like the starting position for property, is that it's exempt for VAT purposes, but there's perhaps a slightly strange concept of being able to opt tax, being able to elect a tax, which sounds like a rather bizarre thing to want to do, to opt to pay VAT. But actually, again, this system, so if somebody has opted to tax their commercial property, it enables them to recover any input VAT that they have incurred. But when they let the property to a tenant, they have to be careful, because they have to charge VAT on those rents. If that tenant is VAT registered, it doesn't really matter. It might be a little bit of a cash flow issue, but they will be able to recover the VAT. It's where the tenant isn't registered for VAT or they're exempt. So, for instance, an IFA who is letting one of the office spaces, they just will not be able to recover that cost. So it's a hard cost for them.
So you almost can sort of run a dual taxation level within the one VAT registration then, effectively, can't
Yes,
you?
yeah.
Either zero or standard rate.